There should be a theme song. Oh, there we go. Hang on. Yeah, all right. Let's back up.
It's live.
Oh, we are live on YouTube. How's it going? Look at that bumpy takeoff. But either way, we are the Love Gurus Podcast. Thank you for joining us. We're going to riff on weird dating questions on Reddit.
You think your love life is going kind of bad? If you find out your girlfriend accidentally banged your dad.
You're a liar. It was on purpose.
You think your romance maybe ain't the norm. If you find out your fiance has been slipping it to your mom, just ask the love gurus to tell you what to do.
And we
Listen
will.
to the love gurus or your life is screwed.
Yes, yes.
Make your love life is
that messed
going
up.
down.
I clicked the wrong thing. But either way, we are live on YouTube. We are the Love Gurus Podcast. Forgive my little tech problems at the beginning there, but we are off and running, man. We are live on January 6th, and I have an insurrection in my pants. That's right. And just like the insurrection last year, it is small, ineffective, and I dress it like a Viking for some reason, you know? But either way, we're going to give you something to storm. Not the Capitol, no, storm the comment section. We are live every single Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on YouTube. Get on, ask questions, or just comment. We'll find you in the chat. We'll read it off. All that good stuff, man. Or you can write it into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. We are doing another quarantine episode because everybody around us is still kind of getting over COVID. So we don't want to get people sick. But Suzanne, how is quarantining going?
Yeah, it's great. It's what happens is basically like my partner and I will like spend the day like working, but then when we talk at dinner, we've just read the same BuzzFeed articles. So he'll tell me about a BuzzFeed article that he read, and I have to act like I didn't read the same article. I'm like, You're kidding. The home makeover shows are fake? What?
But then every now and then you guessed like the second half of the article, and he hasn't gotten to that yet. He's like, how did you know that it's fake? Because it was created by the same people that created Theranos, that fake blood thing.
They could buy the furniture back if they want to. He's like, how did you know that? And then I have to like act again. Like I didn't just read the same internet that he read that
just
day.
Spoiling the end.
I mean, it's just going great.
Spoiling the end of articles, you know? Like watching The Godfather 2 with somebody and going, I'll bet he knows it was his brother that did this the whole time. I'll bet he knows his brother did that thing at the beginning.
Yeah. And little do they know that the lawyer, Patrick, what isn't his name Patrick in The Godfather 2? That he actually
I don't know.
Robert Duvall has a surprisingly long career. No one saw that coming when The Godfather came out. Am I right?
Yeah.
Like, that dude is done. He is typecast as the consigliere.
Right.
He is done.
They were like,
Robert
dude, he's
Duvall
bald
proved
at
them
like
all wrong.
35. He's not going to make it in Hollywood. That's not who's making it now. It's like, no. People are used to that look. So those other guys who were like the pretty boys in the movie, they're like, I'm going to have a good looking face, thin waistline, lots of hair. I'm going to have that forever. And I'm going to be typecast as that. No, Robert Duvall was playing 3D chess. I bet he even shaved his hairline back. So he was like, nah, they need to get used to this. I've seen the men on my mother's side of the family. That's where you get it from. I'm going to go bald. They got to be introduced to me bald in Hollywood. What am I, a lawyer? You can be a bald lawyer. Yeah. I'm going to shave it back for that. They're going to get to know me like this.
Yeah. He started old and he's still old.
100%.
Yeah, he's got Patrick Stewart disease for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, Patrick Stewart disease.
He did the same thing.
We have a great podcast though for you guys. But yeah, because I'm in like a little bit of an echoey room because that's what quarantine's about. I thought I was going to get a padded cell at this point, but apparently they're out along with toilet paper. What? Okay.
Go on to the padded cell.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, you just interrupted me. I was developing photos in my dark room, so sorry about that.
Nice.
All those books behind you are about taxidermy.
That's right.
But there's no taxidermied animals around him.
Not
Funny.
a single boar's head on my wall, but I know how to do it.
Yeah.
No pictures of any kind. It's just all white walls in there. That's strange. That's strange for a taxidermist.
behind Colin, there's just like 10 dead snakes, like all split up. It's like, damn it, I can't even do a snake. Although I think taxidermying a snake would be hard, right?
Really,
Like,
I think that would be the move, right? All you got to do is empty out
Play
the
it out.
bones, and then you just kind of squeeze it in like a roll of toothpaste, but in
you
reverse.
you just squeeze it out and then you
Yeah.
fill it back in. Ah,
Uh-huh.
okay.
Yeah, actually, it's the first thing they teach you.
Yeah.
It's one word. It's one word. It's one line. It says, "Fill it with clay." That's all.
Yeah, it's
All it is.
just one sentence. Clay pastry bag. That's all you need. Just crawl like that.
Yeah.
Like a chef.
Yeah, from one piping bag to another. Just
Uh-huh. It's like it's
Yeah.
basically like making a really disgusting cannoli. That's what it's like. Stuffing snakes. Stuffing snakes was actually voted most fucked up porn on all of YouTube, or YouPorn in 2021. And that was a year for weird porn too. It had to beat out a lot of competition.
See, I've been Googling
Crazy.
cannoli this whole time. I haven't just put it up.
Dude, I'm bombing with the intros too, man. Let me introduce our two guests. First up, they're both first-time guests to the show, so I'm happy about this. First up, he's a hilarious stand-up comic. Follow him on socials. Check him out live. Hopefully you're doing live stuff now. But Davidson Boswell, thank you so much for being on the show.
Oh, it's great to see you guys again. Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
The first time I met you, Jake, we actually like roasted each other. I don't know if you remember that. That was way back in the day when roasting was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if
That-
you're still doing it or not.
That was a while ago. Yeah. I mean, here and there. You know what I mean? I'll still do it here and there. Keep
I
it
remember
going
when
a
I
little
met
bit.
you the first time, you were like, man, I haven't had anything to eat all day. I've had 5 Red Bulls. And I was like, dude, this guy's going to be dead in the calendar year.
No. You know what it did? You know what it did is I basically taxidermied myself. It preserved me. Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
like you're in purgatory right now. That's like
Pretty
that's
much.
not a sheet behind you. That's heaven. And
Well,
then it's great to see you, and then it's great to see
You too.
Suzanne, and then I know
Yeah.
Colin well too. So
100%.
Yeah, thanks for being on.
here.
And let me introduce our second guest, first time guest as well. Another hilarious stand-up comic. Follow him on social, people. He is hilarious, Mr. Colin DiGarbo. Thank you for being on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Jack. But I would actually request you not follow me on socials. It's especially today. It's all just been alt-right tweets. It's been no good. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that side of me. Okay, I like to keep them separate. Comedy is funny.
That's true.
And my political beliefs are really upsetting. So
And he doesn't follow current events at all. So he's like, we need to stop the steal, like they said on the last January.
Right.
It's like, dude, they've stopped counting a long time ago. I don't know what you don't want them to count
I always
anymore.
make sure my tweets are a year behind. That's usually my.
Good shout. Yeah.
Jesse Smollett definitely got beat up. Like, yeah, wow, you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the exact day he stopped watching the news.
But we also have, as always, a great white wine, which Jake is. We're drinking other things, but Jake is holding down the fort with a lovely bottle of white wine.
Yes, some Pinot Grigio from Central Coast. Which Central Coast?
Ooh.
California. It looks like. I'm like, well, every coast, I guess, has the center, right? That's not specific enough. No, that
Jake,
was.
you're a sous chef or something, right? You're like always posting like duck foie gras. And
Jake
stuff
is an
and
excellent
stuff.
cook. Jake's an
Okay.
excellent
Yeah.
cook.
Not a sous chef, and I make my own foie gras. Actually, I torture my own ducks.
You go to
Shut
Central
up,
Park
ducks.
and strangle a fucking
Yeah.
duck.
I have them in my
Alright.
apartment. I'm force feeding them crushed up Lucky Charms and Red Bull.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one around here who drinks Red Bulls. All
Yeah.
quacky in the fucking corner.
Yeah,
He's gonna
Jake's
be
the only
goddamn
guy-
delicious.
Jake's the only guy with a garden that squawks. It's really
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
it's pretty wild, man. But I am today drinking Sea Glass. It is a delicious Pinot Grigio, even though it sounds like the name of like I don't know, like a knockoff crystal meth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like even guys with
Drinking
half
sea
their teeth
glass-
won't do this.
Drinking sea glass sounds like the step before rehab. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, like that ends in 12 steps. Know what I'm saying?
I was
That's the
smoking
13th
sea glass
step.
underneath a bridge.
That's the
Off
meth
of
they sell
cut in
you at
half.
the bodega, you know? It's like
Yeah,
go-to,
exactly,
you
yeah.
know?
That's why
True,
those
yeah,
cats
yeah.
are always so hyped up all the
Yeah.
time. They're
Yeah.
back there sniffing sea glass.
Yeah, I did have a cat when I was like 17 that did some of my coke one time. It's true. I spilled some on the carpet because we thought that we didn't know who was at the door, and then I came back downstairs and just kind of forgot. Like, but it was that thick, like shag carpet, and I was trying to get it. You know what I mean? But like the cat, he could get it, because he was like licking it. And I'm like, no, get away. But then I'm so distracted because I was young and gacked out. And then I go downstairs and forgot that there was totally and it was, dude, maybe like an eighth of a gram, like not a lot, you know what I mean? Just like a bump, but like for an 18-pound cat, which is still a big cat, I mean, they don't normally do cocaine, you know what I mean? So
is that
now I want to see
you had to join the army?
Day after.
I really want to see a TikTok now of a cat just very carefully rolling up $100 bill.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I
Right.
was thinking more of like the cat putting his nose down into the shag carpet, and then it's like Scarface. You know what I mean? The cat just like comes up like, ah!
Well, no, not his nose. He was licking it because it was kind of spread out, like it was already finely chopped, and I just kind of like I almost stepped on the cat because I came upstairs. I kind of pulled back with the mirror, you know what I mean? And it kind of flew off the side of it. And I was like, oh shit, but it was too little to really go for in the carpet unless you weigh 18 pounds. And you're like, yes, I've been waiting for this day. If there's one upside to living with the underage drug addicts in a shitty apartment in Iowa City, it's this day. This is what I've trained for and waited for. And he just started going crazy. And then I forgot that was going on until about 20 minutes later when the cat came downstairs and just started running all around the room and hitting his head, jumping against the wall and shit. And then just stopping in the middle and looking at us. And then my girlfriend at the time and her friend was just like, the fuck's wrong with that cat? And here's the thing, when you're coked out and you're 17, you don't have a good poker face. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with that cat, you know?
No, Jake, I gotta be honest. You don't have a great poker face now.
Right. And this is dead sober in my 30s. 17-year-old high on uppers Jake was just like, I don't know why that cat's coked up.
Jake,
I have no idea.
Raise a glass to your sobriety?
To my sobriety. Yes. My sobriety is sponsored by Seaglass Pinot Grigio. The Seaglass, the official Pinot Grigio of coked up felines and being sober.
It sounds like an 18-pound cat could use some coke. You know what I mean? Get it kind of trimmed.
That is a fat cat. We need to get it on a weight loss system ASAP.
You'd think that, but here's the thing about weight loss and cocaine. Doesn't always work for bigger people. Ask Chris Farley and John Belushi. You know what I mean? Like people are like, hey, do another line. Sure. It's gonna slim you down. Oh, he never ate a steak again.
Jake, are you saying that for some people, coke goes just straight to your heart?
I'm saying for literally everyone, it goes straight to your heart. And if you're 150 pounds overweight, or in kitten pounds, 6 pounds, you can very easily die from it. And you should not do it unless you're skinny and 17 like I was,
But we should get cracking. We've got some comments going.
Oh, yes. I don't have my comments.
Joel complimented my hair, which thank you.
It does look good.
This is what you do when you don't have anything to do all day. Your hair. We've got Tim up here. Yeah, Tim, you're right. Coke in the shag carpet is the real catnip. And Joel also says that Jake woke up looking down the barrel of the Uzi the cat was holding. It's the cutest little cat, Uzi.
This is my 2-bedroom now. See?
Fun fact.
Tuna.
Fun fact, guys. Coke in a shag carpet was the original title to Boogie's Nights.
It was.
Boogie's Nights.
I can see John C. Reilly dancing to that, certainly.
Mark Wahlberg's freaking out like in that last third of the movie where he's got no money. He's just like, you spilled it all on the shag carpet. Well, now I'm gonna lick it up like that cat just did. I'm not gonna waste it.
But amazing. So shall we start helping the savages on the internet?
Absolutely. We're going to take our first question from the wild animals on Reddit. If you guys got any questions to write them to loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com or join every single Thursday at 7:30 Eastern. Or sorry, 8:30 Eastern. I did that shit last week too. It's 8:30 Eastern. I don't know why I said that. But it's all this goddamn Seaglass. I don't know what they're putting in this shit. I can't do basic math like, hey, what time is your show every single week? I can't remember shit like that. Seaglass. Cheap math.
Let's talk. Awesome. Okay.
We are taking our first question from the wild animals on Reddit.
First question. My girlfriend won't return the favor sometimes. Last night I was very tired and falling asleep, but knew that I needed some water. She was going to take the dogs out and get hers filled too, so I asked her if she could fill my water up. She said that I could fill my own. I get this. Only every time I go down to fill mine, she asks me to fill up her water as well. I do it no questions asked because it only makes sense in the moment. I feel guilty for asking her, but then I realize I do little things for her like this, and she's just hardly ever willing to do for me, and I don't get it. We've spoken about this, and she said that she was just being playful, and that when she went down, she couldn't find my water bottle. She's now kind of love bombing me over text, and I'm just replying with, I love you too. This kind of attitude has also played out in the bedroom, but I don't want to say anything because my girlfriend knows my Reddit account.
Oh my!
So you're snitching on yourself on Reddit. You actively are snitching on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
yeah.
find out.
I'm at the point where I no longer want to ask because I brought up this issue so many times. So now every time this comes up, I feel anxious. I hate conflict and voicing my needs because they'll either be invalidated or the other person will overcompensate, which makes me feel guilty. How do I deal? So yeah, it's here's what is interesting to me about this question is we all know what the real issue is that she, basically is just like, thanks for me out. Okay, good night, and goes to sleep. But he takes the time to write out this whole story about how she doesn't fill up his water bottle. It's like, we know you don't give a shit about your water bottle. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest. I assumed he was talking about blowjobs at the very beginning, just in code,
maybe.
Which seemed really strange. When he was like, "Yeah, she keeps saying she can't find my water bottle."
Well, that's not her fault. That's not her fault. Water bottle's too goddamn small. What is that?
Sometimes you have to shave your water bottle's pubes.
Guys, fellas, you ever had your dick sucked so good it felt like you were drinking a bottle of water?
Oh, dude, all the time. All the time. Yeah.
One time a man told me that his dick was as big as a bottle of water, and I said, no, thank you. Okay.
That's
like, wait, this is like an airplane shot glass. You liar. And he said, I didn't say what size water bottle. And then he came.
Yeah.
So the real issue, again, he comes up with the story about filling up the water, but we all know what the real problem is that she is not a reciprocator in bed. And, he doesn't give too many details about like what else she, how long they've been together, but, it does sound like they live together. They have dogs together. They've been together. So in this situation, like if your partner is selfish, I mean, how do you address this? Like, how do you, like, is it a deal breaker? Like, Colin, if you were dating someone and they were just selfish when it comes to that, like, would it eventually be something that would lead to your breakup?
Well, first of all, selfishness is my kink, so I'm not a great person to really ask about this. But I've heard that people don't like it. If that's the case, go with your instincts. Obviously, if you want someone who's going to be like have equanimity in a relationship, weird, you might want to just consider that being a deal breaker for sure.
Now slap me in the face and tell me I'm unthoughtful.
Dump my water all over the ground.
See, this is definitely a question where I wish he would have said how long they'd been together, because I think that's really important for this question. Because if she started out this way, she's like, listen, I didn't change. I showed you who I was. You were the one that accepted it. But then, she's kind of not at fault. He is. But if it keeps, but if she changed over time and started becoming more selfish, then that's like, that to me is definitely like a deal breaker issue. Because it's just a downward slope. And,
I have a friend, when he was telling me about his relationship, they were together for a while. He said, when we first started dating, she filled my water bottle all the time. First date, she filled my water bottle.
With my cum, because she gave so much blowjobs. What?
Yes. Then, things go on. You get comfortable, now the water bottle gets like half full. Eventually, it's barely full at all. Then it's upside down in the dish drain. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One time, my cross-country coach told us children that if you had put wait, what is it? If you put one ball in a jar for every time you have sex before you get married, and then after you get married, you take out 2 balls for every time you have sex, you'll never empty the jar.
I'm confused by that. Was he the bad guy from Die Hard 3?
Wait,
That's
what?
weird.
So
I don't
essentially,
understand.
for every time you have sex before you get married, it will be way more than the number of times you have sex when you're married times 2.
Yes.
I've heard something similar about the first year of marriage versus the rest of your marriage. Like if you put a ball in there for the first year that you're married, and then you take one out for every time that you have sex after that first year.
Yeah.
You know, but I think it's the same concept.
It's basically that. So anyway, but they're not, so I guess just a side note, I just wanted to point out how creepy my cross-country coach is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just nice to know, it's nice to know that all of our sexual appeal has diminishing returns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
I hope that he, here's why he's not having as much sex now that he's married, is because he likes to compare sex to, I don't know, balls with weird metaphors. I'm going to say shit like that to his wife, and it just completely clamps her legs closed, just involuntarily. Like, he's doing fucking metaphors again in the goddamn bedroom. Maybe she doesn't want to have sex with him
anymore because he's kind of a fucking creep to children.
Right?
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, how old were you guys when he said this? Were you like 17, or are we talking like 15, 14? Like,
we were I guess 18. Okay.
All right.
So
you can talk about the birds and the bees with kids to a point. You know what I mean? Like when they're later in high school, I
have a feeling this guy wasn't trying to be helpful to the children. I think he was trying to get something out.
You think he just showed up hungover one day? He's like, let me tell you about let me tell I mean, I know we're going to talk running in a sec, but let me tell you about my wife.
I haven't been touched in 5 years.
You know how many balls that is?
The only time my wife ever even wants me to fill her water bottle is when I'm too drunk to perform anymore. It's a goddamn nightmare, kids.
We have to go see a musical. It's fucking bullshit. Yeah.
But so we have this situation. So Davidson, have you ever been in a relationship where someone was selfish? Where someone was selfish, or you felt like, and it doesn't necessarily have to be sexual, but like, do you feel like you've ever dated someone who was selfish?
Yes, I the way I handled it, and I guess it went okay until it went kind of sideways, is like, first I was like, do you like to do this? You know what I mean? Like, is this something that you enjoy?
And as if like you're discovering new things. Yeah.
And then she was like, yes. But then I guess like a couple months and weeks went by, and then I think she was like, she ultimately, there wasn't like a reaction for her. I would call her out on it. This was actually my first girlfriend, and she would acknowledge it. But then eventually it just came to light that she was about it for herself. You know what I mean? And now she's making a lot of money and doing really well. So I mean, good for her.
She's making a lot of money and doing well doing that thing.
I think society, not to be all like galaxy brain, but I feel like people that like know what they want and take it, you know what I mean, tend to do pretty well
got it.
in the corporate world. And I was more like, is this okay? I was a little bit less sure of myself. But she
wasn't necessarily this, but that I think sounds different. She wasn't necessarily selfish. She just knew what she liked and didn't like.
I know, but like I mean, if you like receiving head and don't like giving it, then why would I feel inclined anymore to do? You know what I mean? Like I know that it's not, but if like I have to like, if I don't necessarily like giving head, that I don't mind it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like,
no one's like, fucking gagging for it, but it's like, okay, this is like a nice, it's a nice thing to do. It's part of it.
I do like that. The moral to the story was,
do I see a hand in the back?
True love is conquered by all. That was the moral to
I prefer
David's
to go down
story
on a
just
girl before I even kiss her. I don't know what you're talking about.
now.
I was like, none of that. Come on.
Yeah. I think that's the plot of Pretty Women.
Thanks, that's actually why they put the locks on the Starbucks bathroom, because they're always taking all these first dates to a Starbucks. They're like, God damn it, if one more of our customers walks in on you, some chick out.
Starbucks, my favorite cruiser bar.
It's the only way to really cure coffee breath, you know?
Yeah.
Those mints don't work. let me give you an ancient Sioux remedy for this coffee breath. Mints are a lie.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
The code to the bathroom
Yeah.
is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
You also have to have a flute playing in the background. I don't know if it's that helpful.
Yeah,
That's just how the
yeah.
shaman taught me to do it.
But so I think we've gotten a lot of good advice. Yeah, I agree with with the approach of just asking straight up, like acting as if, maybe she doesn't know, but yeah, just saying, do you like doing this? And if she straight up says no, then have that conversation, and that can lead to a conversation about the give and take. And if she, first of all, like just gaslights you and like says, oh, you're making things up, this is fake, then yeah, you need to break up, because this situation is not going to get any better. No one develops, years into a relationship. You know what? I just totally forgot to give head this whole time. Isn't that hilarious? We've been together for 13 years and I forgot to suck your dick the whole time. That's so
Why?
embarrassing.
Guys, you gotta write it down, okay?
See, my last boyfriend, he had tattooed right above the pelvic bone below me, and God damn it, if I didn't forget every single time.
There's no
Every
arrows.
time
Where
I
are the
go
arrows?
get groceries, I write down milk, eggs, eat out my girlfriend.
Forgot. Yeah, just
Yeah.
forgot.
Milk, eggs, munch.
Yeah.
So what other final advice do we have for this person?
Dump her.
Dump her.
It sounds like this has been going on for a while,
I would just like say like, hey, is this going to be, like I'm not an ultimatum, but just be like, hey, listen, this is important to me, and if it's not important to you, then maybe we need to see other people.
Yeah, that's a very adult answer. Yeah.
I'm behind on some comments. Sorry, I'm doing the comments a little different this week, but these are a little old. Amy on YouTube says it plays out in the bedroom. Ooh, baby, just grab my water bottle right over there. Fill me up, baby. Joel on YouTube says, bro, that's not a water bottle. That's an eyedropper. Joel says, my ex-wife was really selfish. She thought it was perfectly fine to have sex with her girlfriends, but when I did it, oh, hell no.
It's very selfish.
Yeah, I hear you. But no, I honestly, I don't like the guy writing the question. I found it odd. Like, I don't know. Is he actually talking about giving head and shit? Was that in the question? Or
He doesn't say it specifically, but he says this plays out in the bedroom as well. But again, I think I agree with you guys in the sense I think
he's just
the
leaning
water
that
bottle thing is a metaphor.
See, I love the fact that he's the only guy on Reddit who's not looked at any of the other just savage filth on Reddit and feels the need that he has to just metaphor his songs as thickly as like a 1950s pop star. Oh, Betty Lou, I took you to the dance, and like
smoke on the wall.
Yeah,
he's worried about those Reddit obscenity laws,
I don't know.
It doesn't have the not safe for work tag.
They can't see me shaking my hips below the waist on camera. It's Reddit. They have standards. No, it's not. Sure. It's not like the 50s here. But no, because the thing is I got to hear what he's actually talking about, because his shit, he sounds like the male version of that lady that wrote that article about Aziz Ansari. It's like, why is he's talking about wine and shit? Like, what is this? I think he needs to. Here's my advice to him. Find the lady who tried to cancel Aziz for buying her the wrong color wine at the restaurant. Okay. Find her. You're going to have kids together. You're the only people shitty enough to deserve each other. And then you can cancel each other's exes. It'll be fun. That's it. They deserve each other. Find the lady that tried to cancel Aziz.
Yeah, awesome. Sounds amazing. Well, I think we answered that question. Shall we move on to the next one?
Absolutely. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. People, if you've got a question to write in, write it to loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. We're going to take another one from the sick, depraved lunatics in the land of Reddit.
Next question. How can I nicely kick out my boyfriend? I'm 27 and my boyfriend is 28. I live in a nice subsidized apartment and I'm the only person on the lease. If my building finds out that my boyfriend's moved in, I'll lose my subsidy for fraud. I can't lose my housing. I'm risking a lot for him being here. He's my boyfriend of 2 years and he's fully aware that we're committing fraud, but he doesn't care. He thinks that we won't get caught, but we could. He used to live with his parents and he always wanted to live with me because he wants to get away from his religious parents. And I live in a nice apartment downtown. I allowed him to move in, but I do have my regrets. My home is no longer my haven and it has to be, it used to be clean, but now it's filthy. I can't handle his laziness and messiness. After living with him for a few months, I realized that we don't have the same values. I want to live healthy and improve my lifestyle while he's okay to play video games and smoke weed all day. I feel incredibly guilty for allowing him to live with me. His parents are happy that he's out, so it feels like it's too late to kick him out. Like I said, I'm risking my housing and my privacy for him, and I don't want to be rude to kick him out because he is my boyfriend. I need advice. What should I do? So basically to summarize this person, again, we're not talking about babies. These people she's 27, he's 28 years old.
I missed the ages thing. That makes a big goddamn difference. Yeah. I'm glad you pointed that out. She's 27, he's 28. She has her own apartment, which is subsidized. And it's obviously very clear, like in subsidized housing, that you can only have the specified people living in the apartment. It's like a very, very big no-no to have more people. So he's now living with her. And he's here's the thing. Here's a dirty little secret about subsidized housing. A lot of harder drugs in there. Anytime I've ever been at subsidized housing, God damn it, did we do some hard drugs. So you're fine. You're fine. Well, that's the thing is they don't care so much about drugs, but they do care if your boyfriend moved in, right? Yeah. But yeah, so she's worried that she's going to lose her apartment because he's living there. Also, he kind of hasn't turned into this knight in shining armor. He's kind of just turned into a squatter. And I'm not saying that it's bad to play video games all day, but I'm saying contribute. Like, it doesn't sound like he's paying any rent. It sounds like he's just fucking freeloading. But the other aspect of this is that he's just sitting around. It's subsidized housing. I'm a victim of circumstance. Will you pass me that bowl? Yeah. But also, it is a good question because if she calls the cops, then the neighbors and everyone are going to know that he's living there. So how does she remove him from the situation? This is a pickle, I must say. Plus, the neighbors are going to know that she's a snitch if she calls the cops. And that's a bad thing to be in subsidized housing. Bad thing to be. Well, snitches get stitches. Yeah. Going to get shanked in the laundry room. Well, yeah. I think it's pretty obvious what she's got to do. Like he's escaping his religious parents by living with her. I think there's only one solution. She needs to convert to Christianity. That's it. Oh my God, that's genius. Start hanging up crosses, praying. I kind of like that. Shit, Islam too. More religion, the better. I kind of like it. She needs to go Mormon. Right, 100%. That's right. Go to youth group. We can't have sex anymore. Unless there's a hole in the sheet. Yeah. Just start making up weird rules. Like it has to smell like patchouli. I have to have a big mouthful of sardines and garlic right before we do it. It's custom in the Mormon faith. And he's not going to read it. He's not going to read it. Like, because, dude, I was sitting there thinking, I'm totally on her side here, but I'm also kind of not because he kind of sounds like me in a weird way. I'm sort of like, dude, he's got all my same character flaws. And so I feel like he's like one of my friends. And so I kind of, and I'm like, what would get me? It's that Matthew McConaughey moment at the end of Time to Kill. What would make you change your mind? Jesus shit. I hate Jesus shit. If you start hanging Jesus shit up around here, I'm fucking done. I'm gone. I just married my wife. If she starts hanging up crosses and shit, and we need to go every Sunday morning and pray to the Yabati Dabati. I don't know. I'm done.
Wi-Fi name. Have you heard the good news? Password: Jesus died for your sins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only video games,
the
only video games he's allowed to play are Veggie Tales. That's it.
Yeah.
Veggie Tales, no books, only the Bible.
That's right.
It's the only book you need.
That's right.
You can't.
What's that smell? It's like, oh, that's all your books burning.
That's all your books burning.
I lit them on fire.
We're having a barbecue.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I like I said, when I first read this question, I thought, oof, she's really fucking stepped in it. Like this girl is really fun.
Yeah, I mean, there's other ways to pay rent. There's other ways to pay your rent, other than just monetarily. Like, you can contribute in all kinds of ways, and it doesn't sound like he's doing it, Yeah. What I'm trying to say, guys, is I think she might have an empty water bottle. Yeah.
Yes. Water bottle sounds very empty on this one.
Can I just say this? Jake, you were saying like subsidized housing is like a piece of shit. I don't think it necessarily means she lives in like Section 8 housing in Baltimore. You know what I mean?
That's what I was picturing. That's what I was picturing.
Pretty nice apartment,
I was picturing as she's getting mad over him smoking weed and playing too much Xbox. Right outside her window, she hears Omar's coming, and it's there's bigger problems. There's bigger fish to fry here.
I don't know if that's the case or not. I feel like if
the only guy who wears a suit in her neighborhood is Stringer Bell. That's it.
Yeah. I feel like if she really doesn't like fuck with it anymore, she could give him like a time limit. You know what I mean? Like get out in a month. Like that would
because I think that a person like this, like, he realizes how sweet he has it. And so even if she gives him a month, it'll be like day 28 and he'll be like, oh, I can't because, and he'll come up with some excuse and he'll manipulate her until she draws the hard line. So that's why it like gets, and then it could get like really messy. So so by going the opposite way and I think that, become religious, start inviting his parents over for dinner like every night.
Yes. I love it.
That'd be great. Yeah. I think that we've solved it.
Amy on YouTube says 27 and 28 years old. You're still able to adopt. Do it. Able to be adopted. Do it. Joel says went to grab a beer. Did Jake just say at Amy Liska started praying to Abba? Good for you, dancing queen. Yeah, that was, I would almost prefer pictures of Abba everywhere than religious stuff. Cause it's like, I don't have to go to a building every Sunday for her just to listen to Abba. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have to like sober up at 7 a.m. to just, the dude, like, I don't have to do all that. I can just sit and listen to Abba.
I'd rather go to church all day than listen to Abba.
Some of that shit's catchy. Come on. SOS is good. Give me a man after midnight. Some of that shit's catchy.
I'd rather hold people's hands and say the Our Father. Like, no.
No Mamma Mia for you.
No Mamma Mia for me. I was like, I love Meryl Streep. No. Well, perfect. So any other final advice for this question?
I like the hanging the crosses and stuff everywhere. I
guess
very
birdhouse.
Yeah. You just completely go hard the other way. I picked up an Xbox games from one of the people at prayer group. What you are is you're one of the 12 disciples, and what you have to lead your flock to the Lord. That's the whole thing. You're going through Bethlehem, and just find there's got to be some kind of shitty Christian Xbox game or something. Throw that in there as like a sort of we're going to bond and we're going to do that. And just totally troll everything he's doing with everything he hates. I think that's
this guy sounds so like such a bitch that like he might just like leave her because he can't eat meat on Fridays. Like that might even be enough.
But he's a manipulator for sure.
I can't eat meat with cheese whiz. I think would be a bridge too far for this guy. Joel on YouTube says Suzanne makes a good point. Procrastination isn't that bad until it comes to oral or moving out.
That's a good way for it's not that I'm not doing it, I'm just procrastinating. I have a problem procrastinating with my blowjob. Amazing. Well, perfect. I think we answered that question. Shall we do another kiss, Joel?
Absolutely. Next question on the Love Gurus podcast. If you have a question you want to ask it live in the chat every single Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, or write us at loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com. We're going to take another one from the sick animals on Reddit.
Next question. My boyfriend wants to lodge a complaint to a hospital because they were more concerned about our friend who was more severely hurt than he was. On New Year's Eve, we had
these are people with real problems. Bless you. It's like there's doctors involved.
Yeah.
They're doing patient triage with this question. This is fucking crazy.
On New Year's Eve, we attended a party at my sister's house for the evening. There was an accident where an ambulance had to be called because our friend Nick fell and his arm went right through her glass table on the outside patio and shredded his arm. My boyfriend also got a cut on the palm of his hand. While Nick was admitted and taken
on a what?
On the boyfriend got a cut on the palm of his hand.
Oh, on the palm of his hand. Okay.
Yeah. While Nick was admitted and taken to the hospital because there was so much blood, my boyfriend and I were in the waiting room. I got a text from Nick's girlfriend saying that they were going to take Nick into surgery. He spent a few days in the hospital and was sent home not long ago. However, yesterday, my boyfriend went on a tirade to me that he wants to lodge a formal complaint over how long it took for him to be seen when he had an injury. I banged my head against the wall because I know that this is stupid, but he is adamant that there is some issue because he had to wait so long for someone to look at the cut on his hand. He's upset because he thinks the paramedics ignored him when they got there, and he's upset that the triage nurse told him to wait. What do I do? Wow.
Do we have like a baby crying like sound effect?
Yeah. It's like, yeah. It's like pregnant. And the baby is crying because it was born in the waiting room.
I love that this guy thinks that like the hospital intake is like walk-ins at a restaurant. You know, I was here before that guy. What about? You know, this guy's he's like got half his head is hanging off. And he's like, what the hell? We've been here for like 2 hours.
It's like, what do you, dude? You just said your friend's arm was shredded. Shredded arm, cut on palm. Shredded arm, cut on palm. World's easiest triage. If you fuck this up in med school, not only do they not give you your medical degree, they kill you. They kill you. They're like, I can't even let this fucking guy get a degree with University of Phoenix. I can't have him working. So he's too fucking dumb to work at Burger King. What if somebody gets hurt? You know, he's going to completely do the wrong thing. He's going to fuck up my order.
Yeah. I mean,
that's at the least.
She's obviously aware, you know, that he is being ridiculous. You know, he's saying, I wasn't treated. They didn't pay enough attention to me. I mean, again, we like to look at these questions from all sides. Maybe there's an angle that we haven't thought of, but it just sounds like she's dating a dick.
This is like Charlottesville. There's not two sides. There's one side and then there's the other.
Right. And that's the thing. I'm glad you point that out.
All right, we're not all on the same side.
Okay, fair enough. I can't read those.
I'm on the. I might be. Some of us might be on the other side that doesn't exist. Okay.
I'm glad you pointed that out because I usually do try to find the other side of these questions because I point this out at least once an episode. I err against the people writing the questions because A, these people are morons most of the time, and B, this is their pro-them propaganda. It's going to be heavily slanted in their side. It's their MSNBC, their Fox News, their North Korean state-run news, if they happen to be given the entire country. So, of course, she's taking the argument like, well, my boyfriend fucking blows. And so it's like, I have to take that as like Fox News saying, look at this stupid thing Biden did. It's like, oh, that doesn't necessarily make I got it this or the other side, you know, if Trump fucks up, it's like, all right, well, you're MSNBC, you're Rachel Maddow. I got to figure out what the fuck happened. But he's too fucked up. He's too fucked up. I'm like, this is you said shredded arm versus cut on palm. This is ridiculous, man.
You have to consider that there's other factors that these guys in the hospitals are considering that he might not think of, you know, like level of injury, pain tolerance. And another thing, like, what if
their fellow doctors are? How much sex they need?
Hotness.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, but you're exactly right. It's like we've said, like there's a triage system, there's level of severity, and it's like he's kind of just mad that he wasn't get attention, which means that he's a brat. I mean, to be fair,
He's a baby.
Again, like, why, what kind of a future would you see for this person? He's 24, which is, very young, but it's like, if you're not old enough to understand when you're, it's like your friend is like about to bleed out and you're like, no one's attended my cut yet. I may have a scar the rest of my life. Like,
he's already done for. I still have a chance to live.
Yeah. Like, why would you want to be with someone like that? I mean, this to me is, there's the first question, even, with the selfish, the non-reciprocating partner, at least like there was like maybe like a chance for that relationship. There is absolutely no chance for this relationship. I don't say this often on the podcast, but hard breakup. Like, no, like maybe, like run out of this relationship because it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I say the wrong bro got his arm shredded that day. That should have been you breaking that outdoor patio table. That should have been your arm shredded.
Yeah, you know what he probably realizes is she's going to break up with him, and that was his dominant jerk off hand. He's like, my future is fucked.
Yeah, he's like the next 6 to 8 weeks are going to be so lonely. Yeah,
it's one of those things they always say that like when you jerk off with your non-dominant hand, it feels like you're getting jerked off by somebody else, right? Mm-hmm. And that's true. Yeah, but it also feels like that person doesn't like you.
Right. It feels like I'm being jerked off by a reluctant cellmate in Rikers. That's what it feels like. There's no passion. They've clearly never done it before. It's all fucking. It's doing it at weird angles, huh? Like a blind swordsman who's not good at it yet.
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah. So what final advice do we have for this person? Again, I just think absolutely break up. Like, there's no way that you're going to be able to salvage this one.
I would just ask him, hey, don't you think your friend, were you like worried at all? I just want to know.
Oh, maybe he's like a psychopath. Yeah.
I just want to know, like, are you like, how does your brain work? You know what I mean? Like, did you think about anyone else, or you just
try on these electrodes real quick? I want to test something.
Right. Uh-huh.
See this? What does this look like to you?
The dial's not moving at all. The dial's not moving even a little.
Yes. Question 1: did your friend shred his arm because he fell into that table, or was he pushed?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You microwave the cat or pet it? What's your inclination here?
Yeah.
And then when your mom showed up and freaked out because there was a microwave cat, you went, I suffered from smoke inhalation. Where's my pity, mommy? Where's my pity? I'll murder you in your sleep, you whore. You whore.
Yes, these are all excellent points. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think this guy, I don't think it clearly his wounds weren't that bad because it's like it's triage, like they said, but it's also, you ever see that movie Waiting with Ryan Reynolds, where about the cooking, about the restaurant, where the lady's like a dick to her waitress, and then the waitress takes the food in the back after she complains again, and they all like spit in it and they put pubes in it, and dude, these doctors definitely put piss in your antibiotics. You know what I mean? This guy started going, I need something for my cut hand. And they were like, yeah, sir, I'll get your cut hand. And I went, no, I need bandages now. And it's like, dude, I'm a paramedic. I saw a guy get shot earlier. You see this here? That's the world's tiniest man telling you to fuck off. And I'm giving that guy a hand job because I love what he's saying to you. I love what he's doing. I'm gonna stroke him till he comes. I'm gonna stroke him.
Amazing. I think we answered that question. Should we do one more question, or do you have a few comments? Or
absolutely. Oh yeah, Tim on YouTube says my left hand, in parentheses stranger, has a bit of finesse actually. Yeah, no, I hear you. I'm a bit of a pitch hitter. I've been worried about losing a hand. I've not always made the healthiest life choices. I didn't want to be stuck with this loser in this question who's going, fine, Linda, I don't need you anymore. I'm going to go jerk off. No. Yeah, 100%. This guy sucks, man.
The left hand is controlled by the right side of the brain, and that's where the emotional center is. So that makes sense. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm really worried about body image.
TLC coming from that hand. I get it.
I actually got really good with kind of folding over backwards and using my feet. I don't want to go into details with that, but
Yeah, amazing. Well, perfect. Let's do one more question. Yeah,
absolutely. Last question on our Love Gurus podcast. People, write your questions into loveguruspodcast@yahoo.com, or even better yet, join us every single Thursday evening live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern and ask the questions directly into the chat. We are going to take one more from these twisted morons on Reddit.
Last question. How do I get out of being maid of honor for my best friend? I'm 23 and I'm a maid of honor. What?
God damn, I said.
Oh. I'm 23 and maid of honor for my best friend, who's also 23. We've been friends for 9 years. It was my birthday a few weeks ago, and the birthday was very chill, and I invited her, my father, who she knows and I rarely get to see, and some of our other friends. We established that we would eat at home first to save money, only go out for a few drinks. We get to the bar and she immediately starts ordering food, which we said that we were gonna eat at home. I think, okay, fine, she can eat then. Then she orders 2 rounds of shots when I'm in the bathroom, knowing that I wouldn't want them if I was at the table. We take the shots and I tell her, no more. I have to use the bathroom again. And when I'm gone, she asks for the tab and tells my dad to pay for it in front of everyone. So he does. A $200 tab. We get to the next spot and I notice that she'd taken off her engagement ring. She goes to the bar and takes 3 shots in a row and falls on the table behind us. My dad was furious, so he left. And now I'm upset because all I wanted to do was spend time with my dad on my birthday. I turn my back and she's hanging on all these guys. She sits on a guy's lap and starts flirting. I try to be a friend and pull her away and tell the guy, sorry, she's engaged.
Dude, I thought this lady was such a fucking evil piece of garbage at the beginning of this question. Now I've never flipped so fucking hard on this. Wow, holy shit.
She refuses, and her fiance then, who was meant to meet us, walks in and sees her flirting with all these guys. I go back and she screams, leave me alone, I hate you, I fucking hate you.
Wow.
We ended up dragging her into an Uber home at the end, because obviously the night was over. But now I am conflicted because now I don't want to be her maid of honor. How can I get rid of this responsibility? Yeah, it's a twister, right? At first, you just kind of think that she's like the most unfun person ever. Mm-hmm. Then her friend orders a bunch of shit and then says to her dad, "Hey, pay for my shit."
Yeah, wow. She just, yeah.
And then she just gets like super drunk and hits on a bunch of guys.
I wonder how she is sober. You know what I mean? Like, are they friends? Did they become friends in like biology class or something? You know, like what is this lady's deal? You know,
now,
like, is she?
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that I shouldn't say something like this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. My guess is that the friend is the pretty one and she's the homely one.
Whoa. You just lost the lesson.
Girl privilege getting away saying that.
I'm going to guess that the friend
is... she said it nice. I think she looks even more like Steve Buscemi than I do.
Yeah.
But it honestly doesn't even matter. I mean, they could be, whatever. It doesn't really matter what they look like. But the point is that, again, when I first read this question, I thought, wow, she's just being really uptight. Like, it was her birthday. Her friend was just trying to show her this good time. Actually, her friend was just trying to, like, basically ruin her own relationship. So what I have to say is I don't think she necessarily needs to officially resign as maid of honor. I think this marriage is going down on its own. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
The sales are down. The SOS is up. It's not long before.
Yeah. Wow. Again, I can't believe how quickly I flipped on this. I cannot wait to call her every bad name in the book. Because like my wife had a friend like pull out on being like a bridesmaid or something like within the last week, basically for no reason. And I was like, oh, but this is that same whore. I hope she dies of AIDS, but then it was like, oh, no. The lady writing the question, it's like, no, she's really nice. Cause I mean, not only should she not want to be the bridesmaid, she should want to strangle her friend. The real question, if she wasn't a saint, would be, how can I make it look like an accident? She's really drunk. She could slip and fall through a patio table and slice up her arm and possibly her jugular really, really bad. And people would be like, yeah, that's Katie. That's what she does. She falls through deck furniture and you could fake it. So, I mean, man, I really hope her friend in this question gets 3-holed at once by the previous 3 dudes in the previous 3 questions. She deserves all 3 of those guys at once.
I feel like this is the female equivalent of the male when you go out to a bar with a friend that tends to like be really confrontational with people and expects you to back them up, and it's like, dude, I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm not trying to get into a fight over the Atlanta Falcons, what I mean? It's like, I don't give a shit. I don't care who's better than Skinner or Metallica. Just leave me out of it, And that kind of bar behavior. You do like that?
I like this one. She seems like a good time, man.
Yeah.
I mean, one of my favorite qualities about a woman is playing hard to get, and she's not even shows no sign of slowing down by any.
I feel like this is the kind of it's like those people that go into a bar and it's like because they're within a bar, they think that they can just act like there's no rules anymore. It's almost like there's the apocalypse has happened and it's you can just be as confrontational and as dickish as you want. It's just like
every bar.
It is just the Patriots game or whatever. That was
exactly
every bar. It's purge rules. Okay, you walk in there. There's no laws.
Break a pool cue.
But going forward, I mean. There's definitely there's maybe an argument that she is very unhappy in the relationship and maybe there's something going on behind the engagement that's then causing her to act this way. So there is a part of me that wants to say, like just completely cut ties with her. This marriage is going to end on its own. Like just stop talking to her and then that will do the situation. But also you could just be like, is something going on with you because you're being a dick? And if she denies and says, oh no, everything's fine. She had that one golden ticket to save the friendship. And if she doesn't take it, fuck her. Like
100%. I mean, and Tim kind of pointed that out, like in that same light. I missed this part. Tim on YouTube says, is this behavior new? 9 years and this has never happened. That's a long time to go from 0 to 1,000% off the fucking rails.
And she didn't say anything about how like, oh, this always happens, or like classic Jenny,
that wasn't there. And again, this is her propaganda. And so she wants to, give us all the evidence in the world, which, it sounds like it's there of, hey, I don't want to be her bridesmaid. And if this is something she did, man, that would be more evidence that, hey, this would be like my last birthday or like her birthday or my graduation or just
pattern
something.
Of behavior.
100%. So the fact that none of that is in there leads me to believe that this is not a new, or sorry, that this is in fact a new thing. And so I think, you got to pull her aside and be like, hey, listen, this is what you did. I know you're sorry. That's not the issue here. The issue is this is not just like out of line and not just shitty and not just, I don't want to be your bridesmaid, but this is clearly a self-sabotaging move. Like you clearly at some level don't want to get married.
This is
you wouldn't be doing
burn your life down behavior. I mean, this is not,
It sounds like this is somebody who, for whatever reason, wanted to marry this guy. Maybe she felt pressure, maybe whatever. Maybe it's, listen, in this small city in Utah, we get you arranged married at 12. I'm sorry you don't like the rules. All right. You want to go out there and be a fucking heathen? You want to live like a heathen? You want to not marry this 37-year-old pastor? You whore, maybe it's like that. I don't know.
I kind of want to see.
She's self-sabotaging herself.
I kind of want to see that. I still want to kind of see those two get married, though. I would love to see them, just see them
at the altar. At the altar.
Well, I mean, I was going to say guess which one starts crying first, but or maybe they do it at unison. Like, hey, they are meant to be together. Look at that.
Yeah.
Also, they're so young. They've got time for a few more marriages before. You know what I mean? Like, it's fine.
love that perspective.
So I agree with what you guys are saying. My final advice is, give her that one opportunity, to A, apologize, and B, confess that maybe there's something bigger going on. And if she doesn't, like, just leave. Because here's the other thing about when you're in weddings, it's just expensive. You just have to spend a bunch of money. You have to do a bunch of shit that you don't really want to do, but you do it. It's like, it's not, anyway, I'm just saying it's not the best thing to be a maid of honor. So, I mean, it's an honor to figure out, but there is a lot of responsibility and like financial responsibility that comes with it. So it's like, she doesn't apologize and confess what's really happening, then bounce. Yeah. What do you guys have to say? What's your final advice?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like, all right, one last lifeline, like, hey, that was kind of the most ridiculous thing I've seen in my entire life. Any comment on that? And if she plays it off like it was no big deal, then it's like, okay, well, I guess this is where we kind of part ways.
If she just fist pounds you, hoes before bros. Am I right, sister? Let's do that shit again tonight. It's like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? My dad disowned me because of what you did.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right. So I think, okay. So she's got two options. Well, three. She can either do it the responsible way, which we said, which is, talk to her friend, figure out why she's self-sabotaging herself. But you don't go to Reddit for good advice, do you? Nah, you go there for fun advice, for fun, thrill-seeking advice. Yes. So either A, fuck the groom. Yeah. Have sex with her man. Steal her man's girl. And then tell her to go hook up with one of the guys in the last three quarters. Again, I really want her to hook up with one or all three of the guys. This lady deserves those guys. Those guys deserve her. It's a match made in fucking hell where she's from, and those guys are from. So A, fuck the groom, or B, what you could even do both, right? You could do both. This and the groom thing. So she got wasted and embarrassed you at your party in front of your family. And made your family pay a bunch of money, If only there was a big, expensive party coming up where all your family's going to be there and an open bar, which there is with Tiffany because she loves the good old cocktail. Oh, my God, there is. That's what a wedding is. You get fucking trashed. You throw up everywhere. Even after you throw up, you sneak more food into the bathroom and keep eating and purging all over the place, like a Roman emperor. One of those parties where they lay on their stomach and just eat and puke and eat and drink and eat and drink and puke. Do that over and over again. Just make a total ass of yourself. Don't just ask her. Her dad already paid for it. All right, hit on her dad in front of her ma. That's what I say. Just totally make an ass of yourself there. And then, boom, I see you're ruining my birthday. I raised you ruining your wedding.
Yeah. She just walks out of that venue like this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. At the end, you go, I was drinking non-alcoholic wine the whole time. I was sober for all of this. I hate you, Tiffany.
Suspects are after.
Yeah. I didn't want to fuck your fiance. I'm gonna fuck your husband, bitch. And then just walk off. Yeah. You're not stumbling anymore. Kevin Spacey, Usual Suspects. Yeah, ruin her wedding and fuck her husband. That's what I do.
Oh, well, amazing. Well, I think we answered that question. We answered all of those questions super good. And
absolutely.
Tyler Adams just commented saying, I just remembered this was on and tuned in.
Oh, shit, dude, we're ending. But luckily, it lives in the magical land of YouTube. So it'll save and post there in a few minutes.
Yeah, so it'll save. You can definitely check back the rest of the episode. But yeah, or come watch us again live next Thursday.
Yes, we will be here next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, as always. Thank you to our two amazing guests, man. Thank you to Colin DiGarbo. Thank you to Davidson Boswell.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you guys were awesome, man. This was great. Thank you to all the listeners. Thank you, everybody out there. Listen every single Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you to everybody on YouTube. Thank you to Joel. Thank you to Tim. Thank you to Tyler. Thank you to Amy. And most of all, thank you, everybody out there. We will see you next week